the history of computers. The history of computers is very short, less than 50 years. Right. Can you tell me when exactly the history of computers began? When? Can you say a date, a year? 1920, for example, 1910, 1950, 1930. So this date, 1930, is significant in the history of computers, right? From 1930 up till now, how many years have passed? About 60 years. 60 years in technology is not a long time, right? Especially with the fourth generation computers, which started or became in use in the 70s. From 1930 up to 1970, how many years have passed? 40 years. So the date, this date, 1930, is important. You have to remember this date when you talk about the history of computers. I would like to read the topic sentence again in paragraph A. Yes?
The history of computers is very short, less than 50 years.
Less than 50 years. Paragraph B. The first analog computer was built in 1930 by an American named Vannevar Bush. Analog computer. So, talking about this term, like analog, when you read the word analog, what is the other term you should remember? Analog computer and
Digital computer.
is it digital or
Digital.
digital computer? Do you remember the difference between these two types of computers? The analog, in simple language, you can use your own words or you can look at the book. You've got the definition of analog computer between two brackets in paragraph B. Can you read it silently and quickly so we can write it down here? Analog computer. What's the analog computer? Analog computer is a computer or a type of computer which yes, item,
which does not produce the result in number,
but in some quantity. In some quantity. So analog computer does not produce the results in numbers, but in some quantity. So you write keywords like results are produced in some quantity, not numbers. But digital computer, digital means numbers. When you say a digital watch, the watch which uses numbers, رقمي, digital. Digital computer is a computer which somebody else, which
Computer which produces
the results
in the form of
in the form of numbers, in numbers, right? Digital computers produces results in numbers. What kind of numbers? Binary. So, with the invention of the digital computer, we've come familiar, or the world has come familiar with the binary code. This is another term in computer terminology, binary code. The binary code or the machine language. Binary code اللي هي, for example, 01, 00, 11, 01, etc. This is the binary code. It's a very complicated computer language, very complex, the binary code. So, very few programmers nowadays, very few are able to use the binary code. That's why they buy software to program or to do or to make their programs, right? So the computer can translate the programming languages, whatever languages they use, into the machine language, into the binary code. So So at least you know that the binary code as a machine language is very difficult to use, very complicated, right? In paragraph C, who would like to read the topic sentence of paragraph C? Yes? Can you read it aloud, please?
First generation computers were used through the 1950s, but they were very expensive and complex, and they needed many people to operate and maintain them.
To operate and maintain them. Maintain what? Them refers to what? First generation computers. They needed many people to operate. So in paragraph C, you read about the second generation computers. And I told you before, to remember the second generation computer, you remember a keyword. What's that keyword? Yes? Transistors. Right. What's the advantage of transistors? The use of transistors. Transistors like, yes, the advantage. Smaller. And there is also a great advantage that in between the advantage of transistors over the valves or the vacuum tubes. That the valves transistors did not heat up. So it is very useful, transistors are very useful in maintaining computer. Right? And the third generation computer, we use what? What's the keyword for the third generation computer? The chip technology. Chip of silicon, chip technology. So, on a single chip, how many components can a single chip hold now? 30 what?
Components.
Nowadays, 30,000 components. In the 60s, in paragraph D, it used to hold 30 tiny components. Components. You know this word? Component. What does it mean? Component. Do you have another word for component?
Like elements.
Part. A part. Component or a part. So, at least you know, chip or chip technology is a key term, a keyword for the third generation computer. The fourth generation computer, when you mention the fourth generation, so you mention what? Microcomputers. The microcomputers or home microcomputers or the personal computers. Right? Look at paragraph E. Yasser, can you read the topic sentence of paragraph E?
The process of miniaturization continued through the 1960s and 70s.
Stop, please. The process of what? Who would like to read this word? To pronounce it. The process of miniaturization.
Continued through the 1960s and 70s with chip technology developing so fast that by 1975 a single chip could hold more than 30,000 components.
30,000 components.
30,000 components.
Carry on.
1,000 times more than in 1965.
1,000 times more than in 1965. Why 1,000 times? The ألف مرة, ألف ضعف, 1,000 times. What was the number in 1965? How many components could a chip hold? 30. In 1965 it was 30 components. Now it is in the 70s, it is 30,000 components. So it is 1,000 times it was in 65, right? So the term miniaturization. Can you pick up a definition from the passage,
Become smaller.
or using your own words for this term, a definition.
Smaller, become smaller.
Become smaller. Smaller is a good word.
Make something very small.
Making things very, very small, right? Making things very, very small. So, when you apply this term to computer, when you take it as a computer term, so miniaturization is, in the past, computers were very big, and very few people could maintain them and operate them. With the development of computers, it became very smaller and smaller. So this is called miniaturization. And paragraph F, would like to read paragraph F? Yes?
This latest generation has been further developed and improved.
This latest generation has been further developed and improved. Have we done the first exercise on page 99? The true and false exercise, the content, confirming the content. Let us do exercise B. This type of exercise is very important because you find a piece of information in the text. What you have to do is to read a piece of information taken from the passage, and you have to find out the line number, رقم السطر, in the passage. For example, number 1, the first computer using binary. Where in the passage we can read about this, about binary code? Can you raise your hand, please? Line, yes? Line 8. Can you check, see if this is true or not? Yes, it's line 8. Working in binary. The first digital computer working in binary was developed at Harvard University. So it's line 8. Number 2. Who would like to read it? Like to read number 2, yes?
Improvements in input systems.
Again, please.
Improvements in input systems.
Improvements in input systems. You know input and output. Input systems. And putting in the instructions. Where in the passage?
16 and 17.
Line 15 and 17. Always check if your colleague is true. Is right or not? Is that right? 16 and 17. Can you read the sentence on line 16 and 17? From line 16.
There were other improvements too. For example, magnetic tapes were used for inputting programs and data.
Magnetic tapes were used for inputting programs and data. Good. Number 3. Would you like to read it? Yes?
The first commercial computer, line 18.
First commercial computer. What does it mean, commercial? يعني commercial? تجاري. The first commercial computer, which means the computer which can be used in companies, businesses, etc. Where?
Line 18.
Line 18. Check line 18. Can you read the sentence? Line 18.
In 1951, the two men developed the first commercial computer,
Univac.
Univac 1.
Good,
Which
that's enough. 1951, the two men developed the first commercial computer. Can you read in the paragraph and tell me what are these two men? Their names. The two men. Who are they?
J. March.
Raise your hand, please. Jeff?
G. Morris and G. Ecker.
Again? Is that right? G. Motley and Eckert. And J. Eckert. G. Motley and J. Eckert. So these are two American engineers, American computer engineers, computer scientists. Turn over the page 100, number 4. Omar, can you read number 4?
first generation computers were restricted by high cost to large companies and government departments.
I will read it again. First generation computers were restricted by high cost. By high cost they اعتراضية. By high cost. يعني because of its cost. Because these computers were expensive. بسبب انها كانت غالية. By high cost. التكلفة العالية. These computers were restricted to. كانت فقط restricted يعني محدودة. خاصة ب restricted by large companies and government departments. In other words, only large companies and government departments, only these can afford to use or to operate computers. Right? Where in the passage you can find this? Right. Yes? Line 24. Can you read?
And 25.
And 25. Good. Can you read the sentence on lines 24 and 25?
Only very large companies and government departments could afford to use them.
I told you before about the word afford. In English style or in English grammar, you use the word afford usually with can or could in the positive. It means can or could. But in this context, if you substitute this word with the word buy, it will give you a meaning. Only these companies could afford to and could buy these computers, could have enough money to buy these computers. Why? Because these computers were expensive, because of the high cost of these computers. Number 5, computers can be used to control machines. Yes sir.
Line 49.
Line 49. Can you read the sentence to line 49?
From data?
On page 98. Yes, from the beginning of the sentence.
They can communicate with each other, produce colored graphics, play games, design other machines, and even control them.
So, from line 49, you get the idea that computers can control other machines, control other machines or devices. Number 6. I would like to read. Yes.
Number 6. Personal computers become very popular in the 1970s.
Can you read it again?
Personal computers became very popular in the 1970s.
What does it mean? Very popular. You know, popular? شعبي. Many people can buy computers. Many people can have computers at home. Popular in the 1970s. Where in the passage you can find this?
In line 44.
43 and 44.
Yes, 43 and 44. Somebody, I would like somebody to read this. Yes? Read the sentence, the whole sentence. 43 and 44. Somebody else? Yes? Yes, please.
Microcomputers became very popular as personal computers, and there are now millions of them in existence all over the world.
Microcomputers became very popular as personal computers. Right? Number 7. It's very simple and easy. Yes.
The history of computer is not very long.
Line 1, the first line, is the first sentence in the passage. So, I would be happy if you read it. can you read it? The first sentence.
The history of computer is very short, less than 50 years.
Good. The history of computers is very short. In this sentence, it says is not very long. It is the same thing, right? Number 8. Yes.
Analog computers do not give results as numbers. Line 6.
Line 6 answer. You write it like this. On the space provided, like 6 and 7. Lines 6 and 7. Analog computers do not give results as numbers. It's in the first paragraph, in the second paragraph. That's right? Yes, the second paragraph. Number 9. Number 9. Yes.
Early computers needed a lot of people to operate them. Line 23.
22 and 23. Yes, can you read the sentence?
First generation computers were used through the 1950s, but they were very expensive and complex, and they needed many people to operate and maintain them.
When you say, don't say people, say people. Right. Many people to operate
23, 24.
and maintain them.
23, 24.
The same point? 22 and 23. See, this is line 20, and this is 21.
22.
22 and 23.
23 and 24.
From here, from the beginning. Yeah. Which number? Number 10, the last one. Yes.
Valves heat up more than transistors and are therefore unreliable.
And are therefore, is it reliable or unreliable? Yes, unreliable. What are the unreliable here? Valves or transistors? From the sentence.
Valves.
Valves are unreliable. Why? Do you remember why valves are unreliable? Because they heat up. They heat up. Transistors has got this advantage. They do not heat up. Right. Where?
Line 27 and 28.
Lines 27 and 28. That's right? Who would like to read the sentence of this? Yes?
Transistors are also more reliable than vacuum tubes because they do not heat up so much.
So much. That's very good. Now, in paragraph C, in exercise C, you've got an interesting exercise, very important. You have in the box, you have some terms, words, vocabulary from the passage. And you have 10 meanings, 10 definitions. What you have to do, you choose the word which is suitable to this definition. For example, number 1, the things a computer can do. And you read in the box these words. In the box there are, let me read the words for you. Valve, miniaturization, microcomputer, graphics, obsolete, binary, capacity, component, capabilities, applications, memory, silicon, integrated circuit. Is there any difficult word here? Any difficult word? Right. So the first one, things a computer can do. Which word goes with this? Yes. What about the second one? The purposes to which a computer is put. You can say application. Or applications. The things a computer can do, yes? Capabilities. Good. The word capabilities means the things a computer can do. So number 2, who would like to read number 2? Yes, can you read it?
The purpose to which
Again? The purposes.
the purpose to which a computer is
put.
application.
Right. Sai, can you read it again? Number 2.
The purpose to which a computer is both application.
Applications. Think of number 3. Have you got it? Yes?
A number system based on two numbers. Binary.
Very good. Binary. Number 4. Yes, Father.
Picture of diagrams, graphics.
Good. Pictures or diagrams is graphics. 5. Yes.
The amount a computer can do. Capacity.
Capacity. The amount. السعة كمية. Amount a computer can do. Right? So it's to do with kilobytes and things. السعة. Amount. Capacity. Right. Number? Which number? Next one? Number 6. Can you read it?
Part of a computer circuit.
Of a computer?
Circuit.
Circuit. Circuit.
Integrated circuit.
Not really. Think again. Yes, number 6. Can you read it? Randy?
Part of computer circuit.
A part? Yes, components. A part of a computer circuit. Think of the hardware, the connections. Right? So it's the component, مكون مكونات الدائرة computer. Component. Number 7. Yes.
Number 7. A closed glass electron tube. It is valve.
Valve. A closed glass electron tube. Can you correct this? It's not electron, it's electronic. I see. Closed glass electronic tube. It's valve. Number 8. What's your name? Ayman.
Making things very, very small. Miniaturization.
Miniaturization. And number 9. Yes.
A computer with circuit and silicon chips. Microcomputer.
Microcomputers. Sound Dahtani. Number 10.
No longer in use, out of data,
Out of date.
out of date. Obsolete.
Obsolete. Obsolete means, this is important, you have to study this meaning. Obsolete. Obsolete means out of date. Yani out of date, old. It's no longer in use. ليس في الاستخدام الآن. لم يعد مستخدم. No longer in use. Out of date.
Number 9, integrated circuit.
No. A computer with circuits on silicon chips. This is microcomputers, not integrated circuits. So, as you see, you don't have how many words here in the box? 13. And you have 10 spaces. So you don't have to use all words in the box, right? And that's enough for today's video. Thank you very much.